I remember a year ago in February 2020 when the stories started coming out about Kyle Cease and how much anger and disconnect there was in the community for a few weeks. And then the community had this huge shift where they were able to see that Kyle had been telling the truth all along. He wasn't supposed to be our coach. He wasn't supposed to be our guru. He was supposed to be one among many of the world changers. And so we took the learning we had gotten and created our own community, evolving out loud without Kyle Cease. All access pass to each other. We created weekly calls that we could show up on, and without it being centered on one central leader, we were able to discuss the insights we all had and create mastermind type groups to be the world changers that we knew. That's what called us to this work. That's what called us here. And the things that have come out of it in the last year, of us all stepping into our power together, of us all creating what was effectively a decentralized coaching method where anyone can show up and get the presence and authenticity they need to move forward, where there wasn't this hierarchical dynamic of the coach and the coachee, or whatever that word was, which we don't even need anymore, that we were able to see our own power. And I can't wait to see what 2021 holds for the rest of the year, because all the things that came to light in 2020, like Teal Swan had said, although they were hard to hear at the time. They were hard, they were like soul crushing, heartbreaking for many of us at the time. Now I can see that was all just the symptoms of a disease. It was all just like, the runny nose and temperature that you have when you have a cold that's like fighting that infection off. It was us wanting that leader that we could look up to and would give us the answers, and instead we all stepped into our power simultaneously. That entire community of thousands of people who were looking up to him, and even in a small way, actually just let him go and created our own community around each other. And instead of it being $30 a month, we put $10 a month into a pool, and we use that to pay for the tools and infrastructure that we needed in order to be able to come together and create those group coaching calls and to show up for one another and still follow the things that resonated with us. We were still able to Diego, as we now call it, and we were able to love that, truly love that, in a way that we could see nobody's ever going to be perfect. No one's ever going to be that guru or that leader. We don't need to be that. We are freed from that. We're freed from that is not what it needed to look like. It needed to look like our actual authenticity showing up. That when you need to be getting money from it, you're automatically not going to be stepping into your authenticity if you're in any way going for the money over the authenticity. And so we let the money go. We let those that could put $10 into the pool, and those that couldn't didn't put $10 in. And now a year later, nearly everyone is putting $10 in, because that was part of what we discussed, is like, what would get this worth it for you? And now we're able to have this resiliency, this financial and emotional and structural resiliency, because it's not designed around one leader. It's designed around all of us being leaders. And if something comes to light, as it constantly does on these calls, it's not soul-crushing and heart-wrenching, because it's not the fall from grace of a central leader and then you're scared this whole community is going to collapse. It's, how can we support you? How can we support you in your healing? How can we help you, no matter who it is? And a year later, just a couple weeks ago, Kyle came, and he's one among many. He has seen the error of his way, seen the pain that he caused, and this is part of his vision. Although it hurt him a year ago when we all left and he didn't have that money anymore, now he can see that this was part of what he was doing, and everything did unfold exactly as it was supposed to. And thank goodness those women came forward and told us the truth. It was hard to hear, and it was hard for the people who looked up to him and it saw them as the reason it was falling apart, and threw their anger and frustration towards them, and others did it towards Kyle. But we're all human and we're all in it together. And now, a year later, what an amazing community we have that is interwoven, and everyone can show up and just be authentic. And gee, do I love that.